late afternoon. It's still quite busy. There are some cafe right over there. Hopefully I can enter with the outfit like this. I'm going to show you the price for the ticket, and then I'm not going to talk much because I'm not sure about the history over here. I can see that for adult it's $10 US. Without the audio guide it's only $5 US. Yeah, let me buy the ticket now. After you make the payment, you get 2 tickets. One ticket is for the audio guide, and then one ticket is for the entrance. And I think with this one, nice, thank you. So the staff will punch a hole and skin, I guess. And then this one is for the audio guide. So the audio guide will come in a few different languages: English, Chinese, Thai.
Yeah. To your language?
English, please.
Okay.
Hey.
My please.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. I will not talk much, so we'll let you all see and decide to come over here.
Thank you for coming to Tuol Sleng Genocide Museum, the site of the Khmer Rouge torture prison known as S21. Please stay in this area, perhaps in the shade of these trees, while I give you some information that will help you today. You've just entered a place of nightmares, filled with evidence of dreadful things that happened here from 1975 to 1979. I'm here to tell you about them. My name is Ros Kosal, and I am Cambodian. I will never forget those terrible years. From our family of 9, only 4 survived. My 2 brothers and 3 of my sisters have never been found. When you leave here, you will return to your normal life. But that was not true for the many thousands brought here by the Khmer Rouge. Their arrest had been ordered by the Angkar, the regime that ran this country for nearly 4 years. Most didn't know why they were arrested, but their arrest was proof of their guilt. Angkar was always right. Between 12 and 20,000 people were brought here to S21. There are only 12 confirmed survivors. We will hear from 3 of them later. But before we begin, please check that you know how to work your audio player. You can pause or rewind if you want to hear something again on this Narrowcasters tour. Your brochure includes a map of the museum. Be sure to hold on to it. Below the map is a list of stops or stories. With the list, you can decide which ones to listen to. The first 3 stops are outside Building A. On your list, numbers 1, 2, and 3 are red. That means they are key stops, ones we recommend you listen to, even if your time is limited. As you walk around, look for audio tour stop signs, then press the number to hear the story. Some stops have layers with extra information, as you can see on your brochure. Much of what you will see today is deeply distressing. I will warn you as we go along when a story is particularly harsh. You may prefer to hear it outside, sitting on a bench, or even skip it. Stops 90 to 99 are anytime stops. You can listen to them anytime and any place. On them, you will be hearing a different narrator. The last 2 are music. Please be quiet and respectful, and don't smoke or write graffiti. This museum is also a memorial site. The gravestones inside the low fence commemorate the last 14 people to die at S21. On April 17, 1975, the Revolutionary Army of the Khmer Rouge marched into the streets of Phnom Penh and forced the inhabitants of this city into the countryside. About 6 months later, Security Center 21 was established here. This had been a high school, a place of quiet lessons and laughter. Now it became a place of lies and torture and unbearable pain. The Khmer Rouge held Cambodia in an iron grasp for 3 years, 8 months and 20 days. On the 7th of January 1979, They were driven out by a combined force of Vietnamese troops and Cambodians who had defected from their leader, Pol Pot. 2 days passed before the liberators discovered S-21. The staff had fled. Records had been destroyed, but 14 bodies remained, prisoners who were still being interrogated. They had been murdered and left behind. There was no way to identify them. Their bodies were cremated, and these simple white stones were raised in their memory. Beside the graveyard, there is a large red stone sign. It names the archive of this museum as part of the memory of the world. This monument declares that the United Nations Cultural Organization, UNESCO, has registered the records of what happened here as valuable to all humankind. Documents found here provide a testament of inhumanity to be remembered for generations so that it will never happen again. When you pass the monument in a few moments, please stop and look at it. After your visit, you too will be a keeper of memory. As you walk through the rooms of Building A, imagine what it must have felt like for those who found this place. Even the seasoned Vietnamese and Cambodian troops who first discovered S-21 in 1979. No one knew it existed or what had happened here. For many months, a terrible smell lingered. The photographs in these rooms were taken to document the crimes committed in them. Some were taken on the upper floors. Those floors are usually open to the public too. The 14 gravestones outside are for the people in these pictures. They were killed by the staff as they fled. The staff didn't shoot them for fear that the troops who were liberating the city might hear the gunshots. So the staff slashed and bludgeoned them to death instead. Unless you are listening outside, please keep moving through the rooms as I talk. When prisoners arrived here at S-21, they quickly learned the rules of conduct. Here are some rules for prisoners being interrogated.
Rule 1. You must answer according to my questions. Don't turn them away. Rule 2. Don't try to hide the facts by making pretexts this and that. You are strictly prohibited to contest me. Rule 6. While getting lashes or electrification, you must not cry at all. Rule 10. If you disobey any point of my regulations, you shall get either 10 lashes or 5 shocks of electric discharge.
The odd wording is due in part to Khmer Rouge political jargon. You'll find a complete list of the rules on a large sign outside this building. To hear more, including a story from a survivor, go on to Stop 5. More than 12,000 prisoners have been documented, but many records were destroyed or lost. There may have been as many as 20,000. All had to be killed. The Khmer Rouge called it smashing the enemy. At the beginning, many of the people arrested were supporters of General Lon Nol. His deeply corrupt regime had been swept away by the Khmer Rouge. Detainees were mostly what the Angkar called new people. Anyone living in a city, including monks, professionals such as doctors or lawyers, and their families. They were students and teachers and foreigners too. Over 150 victims had worked on the staff here, but even they were arrested as traitors. And there were at least 89 children. Our next stop is number 6. It is outside Building B. But as you continue looking at the rooms in this building, you can hear a survivor's account of being arrested. Just press 501 on your audio player.
Beside the building A, there's a toilet, male and female toilet. so far. Super clean. Yeah, and there's also the handicap toilet. It's just right over there. Now I'm coming to this spot number 6, which is the school equipment used for torture. Will be right over here. So I'm going to check out number 6 over here. Oh my god. Wow.
Inside Building B, you will find stops 8 through 16, all on the ground floor. As you listen, you will learn more about how S21 began, who came here, and what happened when they arrived. But before you go in, let me tell you a little more about the history of this place. I mentioned that it was once a high school. Under the Angkar, Security Center 21 was the most secret and best run of a network of nearly 200 prisons throughout the country. When S21 became a museum in 1980, people began calling it Tuol Sleng, a name picked up from the primary school next door. But this school was actually Tuol Swai Prey, Hill of the Wild Mango. In the courtyard, there are several varieties of mango. The flowering trees are frangipani. They were here when the Khmer Rouge arrived. The lovely blossoms are common in temple graveyards in Cambodia. You'll also find jackfruit and tall coconut palms. The courtyard is pretty and peaceful. There is nothing pretty inside. Building B once housed prisoners, like all 4 buildings around the courtyard. Today, the upper floors are devoted to education, conservation, and special exhibitions. The archives are also preserved here, part of the invaluable memory of the world.
that comfort us, let us feel love, and let us walk us.
Đó nước chỉ của cao thì cũng tới một cái đại diện Việt Nam xong mấy lần nữa hầu như từ cao thì và cái gì chỉ biết là để như sẽ chỉ nhìn ra và tiếp tục của họ rồi nhưng cao thế cái
On the ground floor of Building C, openings were punched through the walls between 3 classrooms that allowed guards to see down the whole corridor of cells. Each classroom was divided into 11 cells made of rough bricks. 2 prisoners were sometimes crammed into a single one. Metal frameworks have been added to support the crumbling walls. An artist named Wan Nat, one of the very few survivors of S-21, remembers arriving here in a truck with 30 other victims. Please look around this cell block as you listen to his story.
The engine stopped. I heard the young guards shout for joy, like wolves waiting for their food. Some lifted the canvas, threw a light in our faces. Others slipped handcuffs on us and threw us off the truck. After an entire day in the truck, your body feels numb. You can't stand up. I felt something rough around my throat. They were putting a rope around our necks and pulling us along like cattle. We couldn't see a thing. We followed the sound of each other's steps. They kicked anyone who fell. One of them shouted, just like blind men. They all laughed. We were scared.
Wanad was taken upstairs to mass detention. Dutch noted on his file, keep for use, in case they needed his skills as an artist. He could not have imagined that later Wanad would use those skills to document the atrocities at S-21.
Oh, wow.
When people were brought to S21, their height was measured with this device, and a basic history was taken. It included place and date of birth, and most important, what they had done before the revolution. Dutch kept precise records to prove his dedication to sweeping the country clean of traitors. To the right, in the corner of the room, is a case containing a special photography chair originally developed by the French police. Cambodia had been a colony of France for almost a century. The chair proved useful for recording prisoners at S21. Their heads were steadied by the metal rod. The large photograph of the young woman prisoner with an infant in her arms is one of the best-known pictures taken here. She is Chan Kamsurun, arrested as the wife of a Khmer Rouge military commander who had risen to be secretary of Region 25. Soon after the picture was taken, the baby would have been taken away and murdered. Amazingly, one of her two older children survived the Khmer Rouge years in a low-security prison. Dutch carefully regulated procedures at S21, as if torture were day-to-day business. To hear more from an expert on the Cambodian genocide, press 221 on your player. The memorial in the courtyard is dedicated to the victims of S21. It reads, "Never will we forget the crimes committed during the Democratic Kampuchea regime." Each year, commemorations take place here on May 20th, the Day of Remembrance. Black marble panels display the names of over 12,000 prisoners known to have suffered here, inscribed in gold. We encourage you to pause your player and make an offering, if you'd like, or take a moment of silence to think about what you have seen today. Each person in this traumatized country deals with what happened in his or her own way. This memorial is just one way to remember. But since 1979, we have been recovering forging a new future. Even Angkar could not destroy our roots. Some people find hope through religion, meditation, sharing with others, or just talking with family and friends. Through art and music, theater, film, and dance. And every high school student now learns what happened. Many do their best to pass on a memory so that this catastrophe is never repeated. For we must never forget. At the beginning of this tour, I told you that the archives of this place have been named part of the memory of the world. As you leave S21, you too are a keeper of that memory. Tell others what happened, so we may all strive for human dignity, compassion, and peace everywhere, today and in generations to come. At the dedication ceremony for this memorial in 2015, the German ambassador spoke of what we can learn from the violent histories of countries like Germany and Cambodia. To hear him, press 311 on your player.
I spent nearly 3 hours here. It was very sad, but not as what I expect can be that depressing. So there is a souvenir shop right over here. You can buy some souvenir, the books, tourist clothing, scarf. I did not see the price here, but it's kind of like a thing you can buy in those like night market. And I just now I saw the what they call. They were saying that if you want to burn the something offering, you can do it right over here. But I'm not sure where can I buy the incense stick. Oh, that's a very cute cat. Yeah, I think it's going to close soon. I'm not going to hold the stuff. I'm going back to the hotel for evening cocktail. Then if you like the story, if you like to listen to story, this is a place for you. Listen for about 3 hours stories. Some are very shocking, some are very so the gate used to be here. I had friend told me that after they visited this place, they were so depressed, and then like end up they canceled their dinner and they just went back to the hotel. But to me, I think it's fine. It's sad, but that's a history. Thank you. So you can buy the book here about the survivor. Thank you. Thank you. Then I'm not sure what is that. I think they were saying that it used to be the kitchen or something, or for you to sign something. Then oh yeah, so this is the last spot. I'm not going to listen the last story. I'm going to return the audio guide. Tips for you to visit here. You need to bring drinking water. I am very thirsty. Been walking around, even though that now it's not yet summer. Bring a fence, and whenever you see the tour guide and a big group, avoid them. They are very annoying. The tour guide will explain very loud, like you can't hear what from the audio guide. Then there are places that you might not recommend you to take photo or video. Then how to say? Yeah, it's worth to come here. It's not that bad. Just come here and learn about how horrible in the past. Then I thought it was like a long time ago, and not like it was happened in like 1970 something, end of 70. It's a very sad thing, yeah. So I never really know about this place until recent year. So I will strongly recommend you to come over. And I'm going out now. Here is the exit. It's a school to make into a detention camp. Very ironic. Bye bye.